I really have seen in my own life, and I honor it so much that having a regular practice of something, is really important because the times I know for a lot of people say it's meditation. The times it seems easiest to let go of is when things are kind of mellow and you're not driven by some intense dissatisfaction or difficulty, and things are okay and you think, well, I'm fine. But I think that it's this kind of steadiness of something that we go to repeatedly, whatever it feels like. Sometimes any kind of practice will feel glorious and sometimes it's boring, and it's just the day after day or however often you do it, the regularity of returning, that gives us a kind of inner strength when, if the time comes that the bottom does fall out, and we're in much more extreme state because a lot more extreme things are happening in our lives, and uh we've got it. So it's a little bit like strength training, and so I just really honor like the kind of regularity of practice, whatever your practice might be, that involves introspection and looking at things we're usually too busy to look at, and developing a more balanced relationship to them so we can hang out with them and learn and so on. And then in terms of um the clearly, as we get older, and I speak as a much older person than I used to be, like in the most dreamlike way, life is advanced and it's like outrageous. But anyway, the that is certainly true. But there's also a truth that I am one person, for example, whose life was touched by death very early because my mother died when I was 9 years old. And there are many, many children and young adults, like, as you say, the school shootings. I know some of those um, people whose lives have been affected by gun violence. Um, and, but it's kind of a tragedy in this country that we don't really talk about these things. So it's not even so much that there's not a perspective or a kind of fear of death or a yearning to somehow try to understand something. I think it is, but we're left alone with it, and not really able to sort of say, well, yeah, that really affected me. That um, everyone wanted to spare me pain, never wanted to talk about my mother, for example. Something like that. And so we have one another, and I think that's a really valuable part of a community, is to be able to bring this out. So why don't we sit together just for a couple of minutes, and then we'll close. You can just let whatever move through your body, move through your emotional landscape. You can rest your attention on something like the feeling of the breath so that there is an anchor. And thank you.